Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT network, as well as my own channel, Broncos Breakdown on the YouTube. Thanks, guys, for being here. Really do appreciate it. I bring you this show with passion, emotion, honesty, and of course, my comments, as well as yours in the chat. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Thanks, guys. Like I mentioned, each and every one of you for being here. Really do appreciate it on a Friday, April 12th. Crazy, man. We're halfway through April, just inching closer and closer to the NFL draft, as well as the NFL season. I'm wearing a Titleist golf hat because the Masters is in full swing. Today was day 2. I don't know how many of you guys out there are golf fans or play golf. I play golf. I love play golf. I don't really like to watch. I'll watch the majors for sure. Absolutely. And I'll watch certain ones that, are prestigious. Like, let's say, like the one here in Southern California, which is, at Torrey Pines in San Diego, which I grew up in the San Diego County area. So, and I've been to the Torrey Pines tournament many times. So, I watch certain ones, but the Masters is always the granddaddy, in my opinion, of all of golf. It's the Super Bowl of golf. It's just like the Super Bowl of the NFL. It's a World Series of baseball. It's that. It's a World Cup kind of thing. So anyway, that's why I got the Titleist hat on. I would be wearing a Cubs hat, but it's early in the season, and I'll get to that down the road as we go. Anyways, guys, thanks so much again for being in here. Really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thanks for taking your time out on a Friday, getting right into the weekend, and really do appreciate all of you guys showing up. It means a lot, man. It really does mean a lot. Really appreciate it. Thanks again, guys. All right. Let's start the show off. I got many different directions to go into. I got a Jackass of the Week. It seems like it's happening all the time now. And got some Bronco stuff indirectly. And the leadoff topic tonight is exactly that. So here it is. Earlier this week, Russell Wilson said to Essence Magazine that his success has, quote, opened the door for black quarterbacks in the NFL, end quote. Wait a minute, Russell. You're saying that you're the reason why there's predominantly great black athletes in the NFL? It's because of you? Seriously. Let me go back to what he said. Oh, he says, hang on, back up. He said that his success. What success? One Super Bowl win against a Denver Bronco team that should have beaten you, but didn't. 2014. Your success? Are you referring to what? One Super Bowl or 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win? Hold on, let me get to it. Like I said, open the doors for black quarterbacks in the NFL. Shannon Sharpe on his show that he's on is pushing back on Russell Wilson and what he said. And here's what Shannon Sharpe said. So what role did Doug Williams play? He was the first African-American quarterback to actually get to and win a Super Bowl, ironically against the Broncos. That was in Qualcomm Stadium here in San Diego. And I went to that very first ever, what was it called? NFL experience. And I took my son. He was a young guy then. Took him. We had a blast. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. I could do a whole show on that particular thing, as well as crashing the ESPN party. Probably shouldn't say this, but hey, it's way past. ESPN party in San Diego when the Broncos played the then Washington Redskins. Yes, they were the Redskins. When they play them, I crashed the party. It's a great story, guys. I would love to tell it. Maybe that will be just that. Maybe that'll be a special show or episode or story that I'll throw in. But anyways, going back to this. Okay. Doug Williams did beat the Broncos. That was the Washington Redskin game, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that was the Washington Redskin game. That's the one that I crashed. And that's the one that I went to the first NFL experience. How ironic. Okay. Shannon Sharpe goes on and says he was the first African-American quarterback to actually get to and win a Super Bowl and be named MVP. How about, he continues and says, and I'm still quoting Shannon Sharpe, how about Marlon Briscoe, Steve McNair, Donovan McNabb, and Michael Vick? It was just you, Wilson? That is what Shannon Sharpe said. End quote. That's what Shannon Sharpe said. Is it just you, Wilson? It seems to me that Russell Wilson has this big ego trip or something because he thinks the NFL revolves around him. And I kind of overlooked that when he came to Denver because we had Nathaniel Hackett. And I thought, okay, well, Nathaniel Hackett's a pushover because he wants to be buddy-buddy to everybody. So he's not really going to do what a head coach should really do. And that is be the head coach, manage the team, do what you have to do. And I think Russell Wilson ran ramshot over Nathaniel Hackett because he was able to do so. But then when Shawn Payton came in, and he's still trying to do his antics, and Shawn Payton put the kibosh on that, but he's still trying to do his antics and, and act like he's the guy. And the rest of the team, the other 52 guys as Wilson's up here and the other 52 way down here. No, now he goes to Pittsburgh. He goes on this show at Essence Magazine and says that he's the reason because his success has allowed or opened the doors for black quarterbacks in the NFL. Come on, Russell. Seriously? You have that freaking big of an ego that you think the entire NFL quarterback not class, but quarterback room is because of you? Seriously. Wow. All right. Russell Wilson fired back at Shannon Sharpe and said, and I quote, I think about those guys, but when I came into the league, there were only a few of us, end quote. Well, no kidding. You know why? Hey, Russell. Hello, Russell. I'll tell you why. Let me go back. Marlon Briscoe, not in the league. Steve McNair, retired. Donovan McNabb, retired. Michael Vick, retired. Hello? Oh, how about Doug Williams, the MVP of that Super Bowl that the Redskins beat the Broncos? Oh, by the way, he's retired as a Super Bowl champ. Hey, Russell, you're not the reason why there are African-American quarterbacks in the NFL. You're not the reason. You may think you are, but you're not. It's just crazy how Russell Wilson just has this unbelievable ego that thinks the NFL world revolves around him. I don't get it. I didn't really follow Russell Wilson's career when he was in Seattle because it's in the NFC and I could care less about the Seattle Seahawks. But holy smokes, when he came to Denver, that real personality and real attitude of a very negative type of connotation, as far as I'm concerned, is really rearing its ugly head. It reared it with Hackett. It tried to rear it with Shawn Payton, and to a certain degree it did. And now it's in Pittsburgh. Hey, what's the common denominator? Russell Wilson. I said that before, and I'll say it again. I really like the guy. I thought when he came to Denver, we had a chance. Well, we only had a chance to win 5 games under Hackett and only 8 games under Shawn Payton. And it's not because, it's not all on the coaches. It has to be done with the player as well. All right. Let me get to the chat. Batting leadoff is Gregory Miller. Gregory, nice to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you before. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you being in the chat. And your comment, he says he's a part of it. Dummy. Well, who's a part of it? Who's a part of it? Russell Wilson's a part of it. Shannon Sharpe? I mean, okay, hang on. Oh, I know what you're talking. He's a part of it. You're saying he's part of the reason why there's black quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, he to a certain degree, I would have to agree with you. But going back to what Shannon Sharpe said, there were other quarterbacks like Doug Williams. Back in the day when the Broncos lost, I believe it was in 85, if I'm not mistaken, 85, 86, when, no, my son wasn't 3. Was it 89? Anyways, back in the 80s, 88, 89. So anyways, so, yes, Doug Williams did lead the way back then. I mean, nobody ever heard of him. He never really started a game. He was brought in because their starting quarterback got injured. And everybody thought, this guy's not going to do anything. And then he just lights it up like nobody's business and just takes it to the Denver Broncos, which was very, very sad for me, obviously. Very, very sad. But hey, you're right. He is a part of it. But the way he said it is, let me go back to what he said. He said, due to his success, quote, I opened the door for black quarterbacks in the NFL, end quote. He may have opened it wider, but he didn't actually open it. That's the point I'm trying to make. He single-handedly, and Shannon Sharpe pointed it out and said, hey, it's not all about you. It isn't. Anyways, I move on. All right. D-Rock is in the house batting second. D-Rock says, Big Bill. I say, what's up, Big D-Rock? Nice to have you, my friend. Kamani batting third. Hitman Bill, how you doing? I'm doing fine, man. How you doing, Kamani? Hitman Bill, yeah, well, you know, I'll probably never live that down, nor do I really want to. Kind of like that nickname. Kamani, thanks so much. Really do appreciate it. Let's see. D-Rock says Russ is wild for that comment. Yeah, that was a little out there. A little out there to actually stamp your name like on Mount Rushmore and of football and say, hey, I'm the reason why. No, you're not the reason why. You may be a part, like Gregory Miller said, and I will have to give that. Yes, you may be a part, but the way he said it made it sound like he's the reason why. He's not the reason why. He may be a reasonable part, but he's not the reason why. All right. Kamani follows up by saying, Hitman, haha, yeah. Oh, hey, you know, I'll take a shot. You know me, Kamani. I'll take a shot. Doesn't matter. You know, whatever I feel at the time, which is really sometimes way off the wall, way off the chart, way off the hook or chain or whatever. But yeah, sometimes I'm out there. All right. This is interesting. This is really interesting. Speaking of Washington Redskins, this is interesting. Kirk Cousins said he wants to finish his career with the Atlanta Falcons. Says he wants to avoid a Shaquille O'Neal situation of bouncing around different teams. I can understand that. I can understand. You want to find your mark, your niche, your sustainability or whatever with one team. But Kirk Cousins is now on his third team. So let me continue. Kirk Cousins said, and I quote, my boys are 5 and 6. They don't remember that I played for the Washington Redskins, and hardly they remember the Vikings. Okay, I give him that. I mean, he played for the Vikings for, 8 years? So the kids weren't even born when he first started with the Vikings. They dang sure don't know he did anything with the Washington Redskins. Now, sure, you can go back and watch tapes and see like that. That's fine. But maybe he's talking about in person or some key games or whatever. I continue. I'm still quoting Kirk Cousins. He says, they hardly remember the Vikings, so I want them to remember that I played for the Atlanta Falcons and to be good memories. People remember how you finished more than how you started, end quote. Okay, let me ask you guys this, okay? Do you think that Kirk Cousins is going to be better on the Falcons than he was on the Vikings or the Redskins? Well, the Redskins was early on in his career, but the Vikings, sure, they should have gone to the Super Bowl. Absolutely should have gone to the Super Bowl. years ago. Of course, Kirk Cousins wasn't on there, but still they should have gone. And when Kirk Cousins was on the Vikings, they played really well. The problem with Kirk Cousins is he's not productive in the postseason, and that's his main problem. So going to the Falcons, and when he says he wants his kids to have good memories, the Falcons aren't that talented. Minnesota has more talent right now than the Atlanta Falcons do. That's for dang sure. So why would I understand where he's coming from. He wants his kids to remember his career on a positive note, but is it really going to be that positive on the Falcons when Minnesota, the only really strong team in that division other than the Vikings, is Detroit? And if you split with them, then all you got to do is just beat Green Bay and Chicago. Those guys aren't that tough. I mean, Green Bay went to the playoffs last year. Yeah, I give them that. But I don't know. I just think that for him saying that he wants his kids, his boys, to remember him on the Atlanta Falcons and have good memories, it's going to be a tall order, dude. It's going to be an absolutely tall order because, in my opinion, Atlanta is not that strong. I could be wrong. I just don't see Atlanta being a powerhouse or a solid team that the Vikings were the last several years. I think Minnesota should have ponied up and signed Kirk Cousins. Really do. But they didn't do it. All right. D-Rock says, shout out the organization Denver for keeping the draft cards close to the chest. I have no idea if we're drafting at 12, moving up, or falling back. Good question. I'll get into that. I have a topic regarding a quarterback that the Broncos might be targeting, might be looking at in the draft. So I'll get to that, D-Rock. So hang on. We'll get to that. Don't go anywhere. I guarantee you that I will cover that. Thank you so much. All right. Speaking of the Vikings, speaking of Kirk Cousins, and no, this is not a Viking show, but there's not a whole lot of Bronco stuff. So I'm bringing in other topics that are NFL related and that have significance to the Broncos in either a direct way or an indirect way. With the Kirk Cousins thing, it was because, going to different teams and things like that, I just found it ironic that he would say that he wants his boys to remember his career in Atlanta as good memories. Found that kind of odd. Anyways, speaking of the Vikings, Justin Jefferson. Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson has turned down a fully guaranteed contract extension that would have paid him $45 million per season. Now, it didn't say how many seasons that they were offering him, but $45 million per season. I'm wondering if it's because now he wants out, because he had Kirk Cousins as his quarterback, and Kirk Cousins is very precise in his throws. He's very accurate in his throws, and Justin Jefferson had career numbers with Kirk Cousins as quarterback. So I'm wondering, with the new acquisition that the Vikings have at quarterback, who is it? I can't remember who their quarterback is now that they got. Anyways, you guys in the chat, if you want to chime in, let me know. That's good. I'll bring it up. I just can't remember at the moment. He probably doesn't feel as comfortable, and it sounds to me like he wants out. And here may be the reason why. Listen to this. Justin Jefferson won't engage in any further extension negotiations until after the draft this April 25th. Why? Here's the reason why. Jefferson said, and I quote, "I'm jealous that my former LSU teammates, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, get to play together on the Bengals." End quote. That's the reason. He's frustrated. In my opinion, he really thought that the Vikings had something with Kirk Cousins and himself, as well as the continuity of the team. And now it sounds like he wants out of Minnesota. And the reason why I'm thinking he doesn't want to do any negotiations until after the draft, what if they draft a wide receiver? What if they draft a quarterback? Now he's got to learn a whole nother quarterback, a scheme, whole nother quarterback's way of playing. Is it going to fit into Justin Jefferson's receiver ability? Kind of like Jerry Jeudy, a precise route runner. Russell Wilson was out of the pocket and helter-skelter. I don't mean to do a Beatles thing or not a Hitler, but Charles Manson thing. But anyways, it has to work. And if Justin Jefferson is already talking about he would, in a roundabout way, he didn't say it, but in a roundabout way, he's jealous of the fact that he wants, in my opinion, he wants to play for the Bengals. And he wants to play for Joe Burrow. He knows Joe Burrow. I mean, they played together at LSU in college. So that's the reason, in my opinion. Then come out and say it. Why would you turn down a guaranteed $45 million contract per year? Unless you want out. And that's the only reason I can think of. Why else would he make that statement? Why else would he turn down $45 million right on the heels of Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons? Okay? That's what I'm saying, guys. That's what it sounds like to me. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, this whole offseason has been crazy. You got movements of players going everywhere. You've got, discontent. Players released, as in Justin Simmons, in my opinion, was a stupid move. Absolutely idiotically stupid move. You don't do that. You could have cut payroll somewhere else. And then they go and get this guy Jones, who was a backup primarily. Yeah, that's a good move. Yeah. Well, we're saving money. And he has potential. Well, guess what? I got potential too. But ain't nothing going to happen with the potential because I'm 65 years old. I may have had it years ago for whatever field I wanted to do. Probably ain't got it now. You just never know. And I'm not saying that Jones is 65. I'm just saying when people say, hey, guy's got potential. A lot of times it doesn't materialize. Then what? Well, he had potential. Yeah, guess what? Doesn't have it now. All right. Mohammed Badri in the house, batting cleanup, my friend. He goes, sup, Bill? I say, what's up, Mohammed? How you doing, man? Glad to have you in the chat. Glad to see you as always. And thanks again for chiming in. Really appreciate it. All right. Last topic regarding the Vikings/Falcons. Here it is. This is interesting because this has ramifications for both teams. Here it is. The Atlanta Falcons tampered with quarterback Kirk Cousins as proven by the things Cousins said during his introductory press conference. The NFL is investigating as they should. Of course they're investigating. You can't tamper prior to the day you can talk to players or coaches or teams or whatever. I continue. The question becomes whether and to what extent the Falcons will be punished. That's key. That's key. Listen, the NFL may swap the Vikings number 11 pick in the first round and the Falcons number 8 pick in round 1 as well. After all, last season, the NFL swapped the Cardinals and Eagles picks due to tampering. Reason why I brought this up is this is very significant right in the terms of the Denver Broncos. The Vikings right now hold the 11th pick in the draft in the first round, and the Falcons hold the 8th. Now, the Broncos are trying to move up in a lot of people's minds to get a quarterback that they really like. And they're thinking they may have to jump up into the top 5 or top 9. Chargers have number 7, I believe, or 6. Have number 6 or 7. Anyways, Falcons have number 8. They don't need a quarterback. They would be willing to drop back. But do they want to drop back because they got punished by tampering? Well, it doesn't matter to them. They've already got Kirk Cousins. So if they drop back to 11, no big deal. They're still ahead of the Broncos. Broncos are at 12. That means the Vikings would be at number 8. They could certainly get their quarterback they want. They could take that number 8 and swap it with number 4 Cardinals. Then the Broncos are done. Done. If that's the case, the Broncos are done. And the reason why I say that is because Denver has to jump over the Chargers. The Chargers are not going to trade with Denver and allow Denver to pick their, quote, franchise quarterback, which I've never done, by the way. But that's a whole nother topic I talked about a couple, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyways, bottom line is this. If this happens and the Vikings then go to number 8, they are not going to trade with Denver. There's no way they're going to trade with Denver. No way, shape, or form. Ain't going to happen. If the Falcons go to 11, they're still, like I mentioned, a game in front of the Broncos. Or not a game, a draft pick in front of the Broncos. What does that mean if Denver jumps from 12 to 11? Who cares? Broncos are not going to do 12 to 11. They want to go 12 to 4. Well, that's not going to happen because now the Vikings would be in perfect position to get that number 4 spot or number 5 or whatever, or stay at number 8. In my opinion, if this flip happens, the Broncos are screwed. The Broncos are screwed big time because there's no way that the Vikings, if they go to number 8, and this happens, they jump from 11 to 8, and the Falcons go from 8 to 11. There's no way in the world the Vikings are going to allow the Broncos to jump over top of them to the number 4 spot. They would do whatever they possibly could to jump to number 3, or do whatever they have to do. I just don't see a flip. Vikings going from 11 to 8. And Falcons go from 8 to 11. I don't see how that benefits Denver one way, shape, or form. I really don't. That's what bothers me. That's what bothers me because this is very, very pivotal. Very pivotal in the Broncos pursuing a, quote, franchise quarterback. I say quote because it's a crapshoot, basically. It really is. We don't know. I mean, you don't. You absolutely do not know what's going to happen. You know, is he going to pan out? Is he going to turn to Patrick Mahomes, or is he going to turn into a Drew Lock? That's the crapshoot you take. All right, let's move on. Justin Simmons. This is interesting. Here we go. With the NFL's new league year weeks into the new year, former Broncos safety Justin Simmons still hasn't found a new team. Now, is that surprising to you guys? Is it alarming to you? Or is it because he really wants to come back to Denver, maybe work out a team-friendly deal? Let's see. Let's see what it says. Could he come back to Denver for a team-friendly one-year deal? That's what I said. Well, all the signs point. No, all the signs don't appear to be pointing in that direction. George Payton and Shawn Payton felt the more logical thing to do is, quote, rip off the Band-Aid, end quote, quickly and look for a younger and cheaper option. And that's when they signed safety Brandon Jones. I disagree. I totally disagree. That to me was an absolutely foolish move. Foolish as foolish can be. Why? Justin Simmons is an elite safety. Brandon Jones was a backup in Miami. And he only came in when somebody was injured. And people say, yeah, he's probably not going to be the starter. It's going to be P.J. Locke. It's going to be Caden Stearns. It's going to be somebody else. That's fine. That's well and good. But I want Justin Simmons. And why are the Broncos being so freaking hard-nosed as to not even try and work out a one-year deal with Justin Simmons and then give him an option to come back, or make it contract friendly and put incentives in there. If he goes to the Pro Bowl, if the Broncos make the playoffs, if he has so many interceptions, so many deflected passes, whatever the freaking terminology you want to use, whatever the contract you want to put in. Yes, I'm frustrated because I love Justin Simmons. I think the world of the guy. I love his work ethic, his faith, his demeanor, his leadership in the locker room, on the field. What is there not to like about Justin Simmons? What is there not to like? Nothing, in my opinion. The only thing not to like is the fact that he's not on this team. That's the fact that I don't like. And if Justin Simmons is still not on a team after the draft and close to, OTAs or practice or organized practice or whatever the situation is, then bring him back. Treat this guy respectfully. Bring him back. He's still not signed anywhere. And maybe he's taking his time. Maybe he's trying to find the right team he wants to be on and for the right amount. Maybe he's trying to see who's going to draft the safety or how that safety pans out or whatever. Maybe that's the reason. But whatever the reason is, if he's not signed by any team after the draft, hello, Denver, pick up the freaking phone and call Justin Simmons and get him back on this team. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what the situation. Bring JS back. Justin Simmons. Bring him back. Okay, just saying. All right. Shawn Payton mentioned the Arizona Cardinals sitting at number 4 as a potential trade up spot. What would it cost to go from 12 to 4? Well, I mentioned it with the possible flip from the Vikings and the Falcons. The Broncos may not even have an opportunity to trade with the Cardinals. Why wouldn't the Vikings do it if they're sitting at number 8? Why wouldn't they trade? They're number 8 to number 4, maybe, I don't know, second or third, whatever. Why wouldn't they do that? Maybe they'll just sit at 8. Because I guarantee you, like I mentioned before, I don't see Denver jumping over. Denver jumping to the Cardinals like Shawn Payton says that could happen? Well, I don't know. Here we go. Shawn Payton said, well, it won't be cheap, but it could be realistic. Yeah, sure. Realistic. Meaning what? Courtland Sutton? PS2? Draft pick number 12? Draft pick in the 3rd round? To get your quarterback that you don't know anything about in regards to how that player would play in the NFL at the NFL level? Sure, he can be fantastic in college. They come out like dime a dozen every year. And most of them go right down the porcelain fixture. Why? Because the NFL is different than college. That's why. That's exactly why. We know what we have in Courtland Sutton. Amazing receptions last year. Did you see those catches he made in the corner of the end zone? How about against the Buffalo Bills, Minnesota Vikings? I can continue and name right down the list all them teams he played. It was fantastic. We know what we have in Patrick Surtain II. Shut down corner. Absolutely. No hands. I mean, no doubt about it. Hands down. Do we know what we have in a J.J. McCarthy? Do we know what we have in a Penix? Do we know what we have in those guys? Do we know what we have in a Bo Nix? No, we don't. That's the point I'm trying to make. We don't know what we have in them. It's an absolute crapshoot. It's a needle in a haystack. Whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever cliche you want to use. Doesn't matter. We know what we have in PS2 and Courtland Sutton. We don't know what we have in a Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, or Penix. We don't. Speaking of Bo Nix, here we go, guys. Bo Nix recently appeared on RG3 and the Ones podcast, telling Robert Griffin III that he loves the idea of being coached by an offensive guru like Broncos head coach Shawn Payton. Okay, I'll give him that. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. Is it going to happen? Don't know. Let me tell you what Bo Nix says. Bo Nix said, and I quote, "That would be a blast playing for a coach like that. Peyton likes a quick game. Get the ball out. Timing stuff that I love to do. That's what we did great at Oregon." End quote. Okay? There you go. Bo Nix. Do we know how he's going to be in the NFL? No, we don't. We can hope. We can suspect. We can think. We can even, put up a scenario or something on Madden 24 or whatever it is. Put Bo Nix in there, see how he comes out. That's all animation. It's not real life. Even though it's based on real life, formula, facts, all that, it's not really real life. It's not. Not even close. It's AI, to be precise. Artificial intelligence. Yes, that's what it is. So the bottom line, do we know how a Bo Nix would fit into a Shawn Payton offense? No, we don't know for sure. We can speculate. We can think. We can ponder. We can talk about it. But until it's actually on the football field in a real live game situation, we won't know. We won't know. And yeah, he can make mistakes. I mean, John Elway made mistakes in his rookie 2 and 3 years in. You make mistakes. Absolutely you do. Every great quarterback makes mistakes because they have to learn. They have to learn the game of the NFL speed. The NFL is just a faster game. You got harder hitting players. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And that being said, we don't know what we have. Now, it's easier to look at a Cortland Sutton and say, okay, he's got great hands. He's a precise route runner. He does this, he does that, and he gets open, and all you got to do is throw it in the area. He'll go get it. Okay? That's true. Okay? Now, you look at a PS2, Patrick Surtain II, and you know what he can do. If he can close on a receiver, doesn't matter whether it's college or pro. If he's got the speed and he's got the moves, he's got the agility, and he's got the route that he wants to run and how he wants to close, it doesn't matter the transition from college to pro. Yes, it's a little faster. The window's a lot smaller, but it doesn't take as much cerebral knowledge, or I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, as a quarterback position, in my opinion, the way everybody's talking is you have to have quick reactions. You have to be able to read your coverage, your defense. You gotta be the field general, literally be the field general on offense. And that's not easy to do for some players coming out of college into the pro system. Denver's a well-proven fact in that, with our drafted quarterbacks that have been an absolute bust. I mean, the list is long. I can name them all. I'm not going to. We all know who they are. But that's just the way the Broncos have been over the years. It's unfortunate, absolutely unfortunate. But if you guys missed it, I think I said it 2 or 3 shows ago that the Denver Broncos have never drafted a franchise quarterback that has taken them as the starting quarterback to the playoffs / Super Bowl. That's never happened. Never, ever happened. The only 3 quarterbacks that's ever taken the Broncos to Super Bowls has been Craig Morton in 1977 against the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, by the way, the team that he came from, not drafted by the Broncos, the original number 7, Craig Morton. John Elway, not drafted by the Broncos, drafted by the Colts. Didn't want to play for Jim Irsay when the Colts were the Baltimore Colts. He elected to play for the Yankees, who also drafted him as a baseball player. He played for them for a year in their farm system. And then after the year, the Colts said, you know what? He is never going to play for us. So we'll trade him to the Denver Broncos. The rest is history. The other quarterback not drafted by the Denver Broncos that took him to the Super Bowl was Peyton Manning. Okay? And you guys go, wait. There is one quarterback the Broncos drafted that went to the playoffs. You're absolutely right. And I left this one out on purpose because a lot of people don't like him. I love the heck out of this guy. Number 15. That's right. Drafted by Josh McDaniels when he was a Broncos head coach, and I think it's 2012. Tim Tebow took the Broncos to the playoffs, beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Denver on the first overtime play of the new rule where the touchdown scores, or an opening drive touchdown wins the game. It was a pass from Tim Tebow to the late Demaryius Thomas, 80-yard catch and run. Broncos win it. Only drafted quarterback in Broncos history to start the entire season or start the season, be the starting quarterback, and take the team to the playoffs. Never happened. Never happened by anybody else. And people say, oh, Brock Osweiler, he played numerous games. He wasn't the starting quarterback. Peyton Manning was the starting quarterback. Brock Osweiler was the backup. Yes, Brock Osweiler won some games when the Broncos needed it, but who came in to save the day so the Broncos could have home field advantage and eventually beat the New England Patriots and go to Super Bowl 50? Oh, yeah, that was Peyton Manning, who came in because Brock Osweiler was a retard and threw multiple interceptions. That's why. Nope. No Broncos starting quarterback drafted. No Broncos drafted quarterback as a starting quarterback has ever taken the team to the playoffs. Just saying, guys. Just saying. So the reason why I brought that in is because is Bo Nix going to be the guy? Is he going to be the one to break that or, break it or tie it, I should say, with Tim Tebow? I don't know. But no other quarterback or no Broncos drafted quarterback has ever taken him to the Super Bowl. Ever. Not Craig Morton, not drafted. Not John Elway, not drafted. Not Peyton Manning, not drafted. Ironic. Just saying. Wolfpack for life. 65's in the house. Thank you so much, Wolfpack. Glad you're in the chat. Nice to see you. Says, hey, Bill. I say, hey, Wolfpack. Thanks for joining. Thanks for chiming in. Really do appreciate it. All right, guys. 3 more topics. And this one, wait a minute. How come I didn't get? Oh shoot, I'm missing one. I know what it is, but I'll bring it in right after this. All right, missing one of my notes, but I got it right here. I memorized it. All right, here we go. 4 more topics. This one is the jackass of the week. All right, guys, this is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And I'm getting more and more of these jackass of the weeks. It's just, I don't get these guys. I really don't get these guys. This one's crazy. But coming from a retired Baltimore Raven doesn't really surprise me. Here it is. Former NFL linebacker Terrell Suggs was arrested last Tuesday on charges of suspected road rage. Come on, Suggs, really? Really? You're going to be that aggressive? But this is weird. This isn't driving speeds or any of that nature. Listen to this. It's crazy. Here it is. I don't make this stuff up, guys. I really don't. If I did, nobody would believe it anyways. This is legit. You can look it up. Here it is. So he was suspected of road rage in Arizona at a Starbucks drive-thru. Starbucks drive-thru? What is he, upset that they got the wrong kind of coffee? Too hot? Too cold? Lukewarm? Oh, that's the three little pigs. Never mind. But I mean, seriously, what road rage at a Starbucks drive-thru? Hold on. It says Suggs allegedly threatened to kill. Oh yeah, threatened to kill another driver after the driver rammed Suggs' vehicle. Nope. After the driver got out and yelled at him and said something to him and got irritated. Nope. After what? After Suggs backed into the car while moving in reverse in the drive-through lane. Now, why would you go in reverse in a drive-through lane? Did he go too far past the window? I mean, the window's here, and he drives, okay, well, let me get this. Well, you know what I'm saying. Drives past the window, and he's got to reach back, and can't reach it, so he wants to back up. Well, if you pull that far, then you're that stupid, Suggs. Why would you back up? Why would you back? Well, I thought I'd put it in park. Look, you're at a drive-through. You put your foot on the brake, and that's how you stop. You don't put it in park. You don't put it in neutral. No. And you don't put it in freaking reverse, you moron. You don't do it. Oh, and then you are the one that made the mistake and put it in reverse. Or maybe you did on purpose. Anyways, put it in reverse, hit the guy's car, and now you're threatening to kill him? Have you lost your freaking mind? I know a lot of people would say maybe it's, what's that, CTE, or I got PTSD, or I got ABC, or whatever it is. It's stupid. No, you don't blame it on anything. You blame it on just being a moron, a jackass. I continue. Court documents say that as Suggs drove away, he stuck out his middle finger. I'm not going to demonstrate. We all know. Stuck out his middle finger. He then stuck a handgun out the driver's side window and drove off yelling, and I quote, "I'll kill your little bitch ass." End quote. That's what he said. Pulled out a handgun? Seriously. At a Starbucks drive-thru. All right, Suggs, why do you have a handgun in your car? Are you that worried about your life? Why don't you get a bodyguard? Why do you feel like you have to take matters in your own hand? Oh, by the way, you're the one that backed into this guy's car. You're the one that flipped him off. And then you're the one that brandished a handgun and said what I quoted, or I'm not going to repeat it, and said that to the guy. And then the other driver, so people are like, well, how did all this get to the media? How did this get to the police? How did they identify? How did they know it was Suggs? They know it was Suggs because the guy that he hit when he backed up had the following. The other driver showed the police his dash cam, which recorded everything to its fullest. Bingo. That's how it happened. The evidence is right there, Suggs. You can't say that he did it, even though you tried to. That's why you got mad. Excuse me, guys. Even though you did it yourself and knew you backed up. Knew you backed into him. You had to have known. I know some people go, wow, I don't know if am I going forward or reverse, all of a sudden you hit something. I've done that. I've backed in, but I've never blamed it on the other guy. I backed into a UPS truck and I have a backup camera on my wife's car, my wife's other car. I have a backup camera. I'm going to share this anyways. It happens all the time. But I was backing out of our driveway. I looked both ways, and then I looked in the backup camera. I didn't see anybody behind me. So I took my eyes off the backup camera so I could look out the side. Didn't see anybody's side, left and right. Backed up, all of a sudden, boom. I'm like, my wife goes, what the heck did you hit? And then she turned around. She goes, that's a UPS driver truck. The big brown ones. The big brown ones. Yeah, backed right in the bumper. Got a little scrape on the bumper, not much. Kind of shook the guy up a little bit. I went out and said, hey, you want my information, all kind of stuff, my insurance and everything? He's like, nah, dude. He jumps out. He goes, I got a steel bumper on the front. Didn't do anything to the truck. I ain't worried about it. I'm not even going to report it to the UPS people. Well, they may know now. Anyways, but that's what he said. I'm like, all right, cool. But, in case you want to, I'm being legit. It's my fault. I didn't blame him. I didn't say, oh, you came out of nowhere and flip him off and brandish a gun and threaten to freaking kill him. No, you own up to what you did because you're the one that was stupid and did it. I mean, it's not like Suggs is poverty driven. Not at all. I mean, if he did damage to his car, by all means, its insurance company should take care of it if he's got insurance. And, or just out of pocket, whatever. But why do you got to go off and act like an absolute moron, idiot, and jackass of the week? Why do you got to do that? Maybe you just wanted to be on my show. Don't know. But either way, you are, because you are this week's jackass of the week. All right, let's get into main topic of the show. I had the it's funny because I had the note and everything. I just can't find it, but misplaced it. But I know what it's about. All right, the main topic is Tom Brady. Is Tom Brady coming back in the NFL? Well, listen to this. Tom Brady is thinking about coming back to a team that needs, a little spark, needs to have a strong finish the last 5-6 games of the season, to make it to the playoffs and eventually, hopefully, get the Super Bowl and win another one. Tom Brady wants to set a benchmark. Okay. He wants to be the only major player in any major sport, baseball, football, basketball, or hockey, that not only has played on multiple teams and won Super Bowls, kind of like James for the Lakers. He's won in Cleveland, and then he won in LA. So the difference that Tom Brady wants to do is he wants to be away from football for a year or two and then come back, play at the age of 48, 49, 50, whatever, win another Super Bowl with another team, a third team, which has never been done. He wants to be the elite, the example of what can be achieved. Now, my thought is this. First off, he said he'd like to come back to the 49ers, one of his thoughts. New England Patriots, of course, come back. Well, kind of ironic that he'd want to go back when Belichick isn't there, but that's a whole nother story. My thought is this. What if the Denver Broncos are 12? Okay, no, let me go back. Let me back up. What if the Denver Broncos are 9-4? Let's say they're 9-4 in the season. Sorry, guys, hit the microphone. What if the Broncos are 9-4 in the season? 13 games in. You got 5 games left, or 4 games left. 17-game season. So they're 9-4. 13 games in, 4 games left. They got a really good shot at winning the division, which I know I'm dreaming, but I'm throwing this out there. What if? Okay, what if, guys? Think about it. What if the Broncos are 9-4? And they're doing okay, but they want that extra motivation or extra leadership in the locker room, whatever. Do they make a call to a Tom Brady and say, hey, we'd like to have you on the Broncos. We got 4 games left. You can be here. You can be a mentor. We're doing well, but hey, if something were to happen, we've got you in the fold and we can put you right in. What do you think? I mean, Tom Brady's a pocket passer. Doesn't really run out of the pocket much. He would work great in a Shawn Payton system. What if? What if? Just saying, guys, what if? The reason why I also brought that in is this. The Broncos country primarily can't stand Tom Brady. Would Broncos country welcome Tom Brady wearing number 12? Wearing number 12 on Denver, should the Broncos be in a playoff possibility, division winning possibility, and strong in representation of maybe going to the Super Bowl? Would it be welcomed by Broncos country should Tom Brady get the call from Shawn Payton, say, hey, you willing? You willing to come over, man? We'll make it worth your while. Would you welcome Tom Brady? Me? Absolutely, hands down, no doubt about it. I cannot stand any player that's not on the Broncos. Once they come to Denver, love you, baby. Love you, love you, love you. I couldn't stand Peyton Manning when he was on the Colts. Why? Because he's on the Colts, and he's that freaking good. Once he came to Denver, yeah, baby. I got a jersey of his. I've got a jersey of Peyton Manning. Absolutely do. That's why. because he's wearing orange and blue. That's why. Not because I really loved him from day one. No, couldn't stand him. Once he comes to Denver, whole different story. Whole different story. All right, guys. Speaking of Peyton Manning and the last two topics, this is a good feel. This is a feel-good story. This is good for everybody who loves sports, who loves Peyton Manning, who loves ESPN, who loves the programs that ESPN puts on that. Here it is, guys. This is huge. This is awesome. Here we go. ESPN and Peyton Manning will be in business for years to come. Disney-owned sports media giant has inked an unprecedented 9-year deal with Manning's Omaha Productions, which will produce programming for ESPN into 2034. Hold on, guys. My throat's dry. Hang on. Probably because I've been talking and yelling my head off. All right. Okay. That is good, man. Up through 2034. Awesome. The deal includes the Manning Cast, Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli. It also includes other Omaha production shows like Peyton's Place and Eli's Places. That's awesome. I think it's fantastic. I love watching Manning Cast. If the Broncos aren't playing on Monday night, I'm not really interested into the teams that are playing. I don't know. Let's say it's, I don't know, two teams I can't stand, whatever it is. Don't really care who wins. I'll watch Peyton. I'll watch Manning Cast, I should say. It's great. It's really good. And, we meaning MHRT Network, we kind of do our own thing called The Neighborhood. It's myself and Madungus Creevy. It's really great. We do Bronco games, and it's fun. It really is fun. And it's enjoyable. But I enjoy watching them. Peyton's crack up. Eli's kind of dry, but hey, it works out. You got Peyton Manning acting all crazy and doing his kind of thing. So I'm glad that ESPN and Peyton Manning's Omaha Productions have merged and stayed merged and all the way through 2034. That's awesome. Really, really do look forward to that for the next 9 years. It's going to be fantastic. Clayton Huron, my man, you in the house. Glad to see you, Clayton. Hey, guys, he says. I say, hey, Clayton, what's up? He goes on and says, smash that like button and shares, guys. Absolutely. Please hit the like button, guys. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. It lets everybody else know that you enjoyed the show. You enjoyed the content. Not too crazy about the host, but hey, at least hit the thumbs up if you like something else, the background, the topics, whatever it is. Like me to shut up, whatever it may be. Please do hit the like button. Really, really do appreciate it. Clayton also says, great, as in capital letters. Great way to top off Friday night, Bill. Thank you so much, Clayton. Really do appreciate it. Goes on and says, Denver Broncos for life, baby. Absolutely. Clayton, always do appreciate your uplifting comments, as well as everybody else in the chat as well. Really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, guys, very last topic of tonight's show. If you look down right here below my name, it says new uniforms this year, new helmet style as well. Absolutely, there is a new helmet edition. Now, is it logo? I don't know. Hasn't been released yet. But the NFL has allowed something new. Here we go. The NFL has informed clubs that it has revised the uniform policy to allow teams a third helmet design. This is per Tom Pelissero. A third helmet design. Okay, so we have the helmet design now. Okay, we have the royal blue helmet with the horse logo on the sides. Okay, we also have the alternate one that we've seen this year with the D on the side with the blue helmet, the D on the side with the white helmet, the D on the side with the orange helmet. Or have we? Has there been an orange helmet? I may be mistaken. I apologize if that's the case. Anyways, there's a third one that the NFL uniform policy is allowing. A third one. A lot of people say, what's it going to be? Is it going to be the blue with the D? Well, we already have that. I mean, the royal blue with the D, we don't have that. We have the powder blue with the D. We have the one that we always wear, which is a navy blue with a horse logo. Is it going to be a white helmet? White helmet with the current logo? A white helmet with the D logo? Don't know. But the NFL has allowed a third alternate helmet that each team can wear. Interesting. Here we go. Some people have suggested that the Broncos could go with the light blue helmet with the D logo, a white helmet with the current horse logo, or even a white helmet with the D logo. It'll be interesting. I'm wondering if they're going to release that when they release the uniform, the new uniform that the Broncos will have beginning this year, 2024 NFL season. That uniform is going to be released to the public this 22nd of April. The 22nd of April. Today is the 12th. So 10 days from now, the Broncos will will show to the public the Broncos' new uniforms. Not real sold on it. I'm really not. But I'm going to, I've been very critical about my feelings. I'm going to kind of refrain judgment, hold back some of my thoughts and judgment until it's released. So in 2 weeks when I do my show, let's see, this is the 12th. Next Friday is the 19th. That means that on the 26th, when I do my show, 4 days after the uniforms have been released, I will do my show. I will give a breakdown review of what I think about them, whether I like them or not, what I think they should have kept, what I think they should have gotten rid of or not even had. So look forward to that on April 26th. I will be bringing the my thoughts and perspective of the new uniforms and possibly even that third helmet that they're bringing out. All right, guys. So really do appreciate each and every one of you in the chat. Let me go back and thank every one of you, all the 19 that are viewing right now on the YouTube. That I believe it's YouTube, maybe not, maybe it should be, it might be combined, but that are viewing. Really do appreciate. Thank you guys so much. The ones in the chat: Gregory Miller for batting leadoff. Thank you so much. D-Rock for batting second. Kamani Dixon batting third. Mohammed Badri cleanup. Wolfpack. Clayton Haran, really do appreciate each and every one of you guys so much for chiming in. As always, you guys make the show. I've mentioned that many times. I'll continue to say it. You guys in the chat make this show better and the best it could possibly be because you're interacting, you're putting your thoughts out there, you're giving your comments. I really do appreciate it. You're also giving your support, and that means the world to not only myself, to this channel, and well as to the network. Clayton Aron says he loves the old school blue. Woo, powder blue? Really? You like that a whole lot? I like the navy blue. I just like the dark colors. I love dark colors. I mean, that's just me. Look at the colors at the very top here at the screen. If you look back up here at the very top, that's the Bronco dark blue. They're orange. Of course, the lights right there, that's for the Avalanche because Broncos aren't playing. So I have the colors for the Avalanche. Clayton, you also say you have a question. Go for it. What's your question, my friend? I will do my best to answer it before we get out of here. Anyways, guys, really do appreciate everything you guys do for supporting myself, the channel. Really do appreciate you guys. Like I mentioned, are the best, absolute best. The Brady question. What about the Brady question? Go ahead. You're talking about the Brady question, meaning would you be willing for him to come to Denver should the Broncos need a quarterback room with Super Bowl rings coming out of his ears kind of thing? If that's the case, go ahead and ask it. Go ahead and ask it, Clayton. I'm gonna grab me a sip of water real quick before we get out of here. Just go ahead. I'm waiting. Okay. All right. Okay, Clayton, I'll give you a couple more minutes to put that question up. Then I'll answer it. And then after that, we'll get out of here. It's been a little bit over an hour and 5 minutes. And on a Friday night, that is really awesome, guys, that you're here. You're here to support the channel. You're here to support myself, the show. Really, really do appreciate it, guys. You guys are the best, man. Really, really do appreciate it. Okay, Clayton comes in with the question, says, get our quarterback in the draft and let him behind one of the best quarterbacks for a year. I agree. But see, here's the thing though, Clayton. I think this is what you're missing when I read that or said it off the top of my head. Tom Brady does not want to play an entire year. He said he only wants to come back and help a team get to the next level when they're right on the brink of getting to the next level. He's not going to go to a Kansas City team. He's not going to go to a Buffalo Bills team. And he's probably not going to go to a Cleveland Browns team. But he may go to a 49ers team. Or could he go to a Broncos team should the Broncos be on that brink? We don't know how the Broncos are going to perform under Stidham. We have no idea. And as of right now, that's who our starting quarterback is Stidham. Even if we draft J.J. McCarthy or a Bo Nix or a Penix, doesn't matter. They're still going to have to learn behind a great franchise quarterback. Stidham, not a great franchise quarterback. I would love for a drafted quarterback to be behind Tom Brady, but it doesn't sound like that's what Tom Brady wants to do. He stays in shape. He's ready to come back, but he wants to come back and help a team, not start and be on a team for the entire season. That's not what he wants to do. He wants to help a team, not be the main starting quarterback. And it wouldn't happen this year anyways. I forgot to allude to that. It would not happen this year. He's in the Fox broadcast booth as their chief analyst for this 2024 NFL season. It wouldn't happen this year. It would happen next year. Okay? Now, if that's the case, and we do get a J.J. McCarthy or a Bo Nix or a Penix, and Tom Brady's willing to come out of retirement and be in that quarterback room and be a mentor to any one of those three quarterbacks, absolutely. I'd welcome that in a microsecond. It's just not going to happen this year. And I'm sorry, guys, I didn't allude to that. I'm sorry, Clayton, I didn't allude to that earlier, but it's not going to happen this year. It would not happen until possible 2025 NFL season. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. More importantly, please hit the thumbs up button. That lets each and every one of the people that do happen to come across this show to say, wow, there's a lot of thumbs up, man. I got to check this out. I really do appreciate you guys doing that. It means the world. And it's the best way to let anyone and everyone else know that you appreciate the show, you appreciate the content, and you want to let other people know the very same thing. So I really do appreciate it. Thanks, man. It really does mean a lot. Clayton says, all good, bud. All right. Absolutely all good. I appreciate it. Clayton, and each and every one of you else in the chat that I mentioned earlier. And those of you not in the chat, but have watching, thanks so much, guys. Tip my hat to you guys every single week for being the best support this show has. You guys are phenomenal. Couldn't do it without you. It would not be as much fun. That is for doggone sure. You guys have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your weekend. We got shows Monday through Friday next week. Once again, my show next Friday live, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the MHRT network, as well as my own channel, Broncos Breakdown, YouTube, live, simulcast, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday evening, wherever you may be. Have a safe, wonderful weekend. We will talk to you next Friday. Until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute,